Hey guys, welcome to part 3 of my Black Lives Matter series. So today, as you guys can see by the title and the thumbnail, it's not going to be about me today. This video is all about you guys. I not only want to be able to use my platform to project my voice and my opinions and speak my truth, but with my platform, I want everybody else to have an opinion. I want everybody else to speak their mind. I want everybody else to be able to tell their truth on here as well. And I want everybody else to be able to be heard too. So for this video, I'm just going to keep the intro pretty short and sweet. You're going to be hearing from a few of my friends. There are a couple videos and then a couple statements that I'm going to be reading on behalf of them. But they're just going to be talking about their views, their opinions, their feelings about what's going on, and their experiences. These are all different people, all born in different situations, and all different voices. So let's just get right into it. So the first person we have to hear from today is my friend Savannah. I went to elementary school with her and I went to high school with her back in my old school. And she has written a statement for me to read here today. So I'm just going to be reading to you what she said. And this video really is all about listening. There's not going to be a ton of show. You really do just have to sit down and listen to what these people have to say. She says, "I have so much to say about this topic, so forgive me if I sound really disorganized. I'm going off of what I've been wanting to speak about for a while, and this isn't even everything. But let's start with this. It's really disturbing that in this selfish world, people of color are still constantly targeted by racism, and not to mention this has been going on for hundreds of years. I am deeply angered that people think they have the right to harass, assault, or even murder someone just because of their skin color. What in the world makes someone think that they can take someone's life away just because they want to? That's the definition of scum. To also think that white people like to deny people of color's feelings, even tell them what they have or have not experienced. For once, we need to sit back and just listen. Be silent and learn. Is it so hard to just be empathetic and humane in this world now? No one should ever feel uncomfortable in their own skin or be ashamed of who they are. No one should ever have to fear enjoying life, fear they could be arrested or assaulted for just going on a walk, hanging out with friends, or just minding your damn business. No one should ever have to sit there and be the joke of the room because of your skin color. No one should ever have to look at their child in the eye and have to tell them that people will not like you simply because of the color of your skin. Never should that be the case. People of color have to have a movement or a hashtag just to bring awareness and stop racism. But it's sad that it's been our unfortunate reality. It almost seems like a dream, really, or like a story in a book. It does not help that when we say Black Lives Matter, many people will reply with All Lives Matter. Well, that's an obvious, isn't it? Of course they do. But right now we are focusing on Black lives because they have been discriminated, like I said before, for years. Stop trying to make this about yourself because I can tell you have not gone through the same experiences as a Black man or woman has. Let them speak. Let them tell the world their struggles. We constantly have to talk and hear about racism because people of color are constantly discriminated daily. Like I said, there's so much more to say about this subject, but I definitely missed some important points. But I'm glad I'm able to contribute to this. To the men and women of color, you are amazing. Thank you for trucking through in life. Thank you for being you. Never apologize for being yourself. Our differences are absolutely beautiful. Some are so blinded to realize that. Stay strong and keep fighting. And remember, we are here to fight for you too." So that's what Savannah said, and also something that I forgot to mention, all of these people in my video that are contributing to this have Black in them. Some, there's a different range of shades. That's why I said everybody has different experiences, everybody has a different voice, but everybody in this video has Black in them. There were a couple people who sent me statements to read, and I was going to put them in this video, and then I chose to not, and just to focus on the Black voices because that is who we are focusing on right now. So I am sorry if you guys sent me something to put in this video, but if I do another video about like equality and stuff like that, I will definitely get you guys in there next time. But yeah, so I just decided to focus on Black voices for this very video. Then my friend Q, he wrote a small statement for me to read for you guys. I just met him this year actually at my old school, the one that I moved from, in my civics class, and this is what he had to say. "Okay. As a Black man in America, I feel like right when we was born, there was a target painted on our backs. I've always been scared. My parents always taught me that one misstep could lead to the end of our lives. Emmett Till, for example, it's infuriating. White people like to throw around the word N-word like it's nothing, like it has no weight. But whenever I hear it come out of their mouths, I need to stop myself from getting in a fight. And regarding the protests and riots, America doesn't hear our voices. They don't hear our cries of distress, so the only way I see it is to make them hear us. I personally feel like it's needed to create a real change. So that's what Q had to say. I definitely agree with everything that he said, but let's move on to the next person. Now we have one of my best friends, Dom. You guys have seen him in videos. You guys love him. I met him a couple years ago, actually, just one time, but we actually started getting close this year. He still goes to the school that I did move from, and this is what he had to say about this whole thing. Growing up, going to an all-white school, there were about 2 other people that looked like me or were darker. I had a lot of friends, but some of the other kids with darker skin didn't, and school was a lot harder for them because of how they were treated. I'm mixed, but kids would always ask if I was tan or if I was, and then would pause, like saying I'm black was a bad thing that they shouldn't say. I remember that after I learned that staying inside made people paler for a few years, I was scared to go outside and would always go in the shade when I had to go outside. Kind of like how overweight people work out and set goals to get more fit, my goal was to genuinely get lighter skin so that I looked like all of my friends. Through middle school, me and my brother had run into our fair share of racist teachers and more common racist kids, but to us at that point it was pretty normal and there wasn't really anything that we felt like we could do. So that's what Dom had to say. The next person that I have on my list is actually a video, so I'm not going to be reading anything, it's just going to be him talking. But this is another one of my best friends. From middle school, his name is Jalen. Absolutely love him, miss him dearly. But he made a video talking about his views and his experiences, so here's what he has to say.
Hey guys, my name's Jalen, and Bella has asked me to talk about my views, experiences, and opinions on being a person of color in America. So I am mixed, I am black and white. I think that's somewhat of like a different battle, I guess you could say, like being mixed, because well, of course, I still get the racist comments and the racial slurs, but being white and black, people tend to think, like, try to force you to pick a side, like choosing one part of you, like just ignoring the other part, which is not how that works. Like, you need to embrace both sides of you no matter what, because that's who you are. White privilege is definitely in abundance in our country, and I think that people should use that to their advantage, not to their own advantage, but to the advantage to speak out and defend people of color, because let's be honest, they're more heard than the people of color right now, as you can see during these riots and protests, how our so-called leaders, are enacting on these movements. I have been racially profiled, generic followed around in stores, accused of things, being questioned, and so has a lot of my family members. I have also experienced it with a cop when I was we got rear-ended in a car accident. My black dad and my black sister were in the car with me, and we were basically mainly accused of causing the accident, even though it was a group of white ladies that rear-ended us. So that's just an example of being racially profiled by a cop. I would like to say all lives matter is false, because all lives don't matter until black lives do, because black lives are not treated like they matter, and they're included in the all lives, so that's all lives matter is an invalid statement. Lastly, like I've said this already, but the main thing I can say is if you're white, use your white privilege to speak out and defend people of color. And I would say if you're a person of color, or anyone, honestly, educate yourself on the topics and form your own opinions off of the facts, not off of other people's opinions who may not be as educated. Thank you for listening.
Then we have another good friend of mine who I actually met last year. Her name's Daryn, and she wrote a little something for me to read, and this is what she said. I'm mixed, black and white. I grew up in a small town with a less than 1% black population. As long as I can remember, I wanted to be pale-skinned with colored eyes and straight hair. I was surrounded by this standard always, and it sticks with me to this day. In middle school, kids made fun of me for my curly hair, so I straightened it every day for almost 4 years. In high school, someone told me I'd be attractive if I wasn't black. I've always been insecure about my blackness. At school, I tried to tone it down and hide it so that I would be palatable for those who didn't understand my culture. But outside of school, I found myself not being black enough. My light complexion, my looser curls, the way I talk, the way I dress, it all wasn't black enough. I've never been fully embraced by either race. I forget who I am most days. I forget what front to put up, but I understand my privilege. I understand that since I'm also white, I'm more accepted by those who fear differences. I understand that as a light-skinned girl, I forever be oppressed and elevated at the same time. In my own family, there are racists. In my own family, there are people who have a hard time accepting the abomination of a black man and white woman. What is going on in our world today is a consistent pattern of racism that will not change until people face themselves. Face their demons. Face this nation's demons. This deep-rooted hatred is not something that will disappear because people will not simply accept that it is there. So many people claim they are not racist but fail to really understand what that means, and this is where the problem lies. I had a family member post on Facebook about a black man who claimed that he had never been affected by racism, and it was extremely disheartening to see the amount of people who were willing to accept this one man's experience as fact when millions of people of color around the world suffer from racism daily. Then the last statement that I'm going to be reading today is from my good friend Malia, and she's been super vocal about this, everything that's going on, her feelings, everything like that. And so this is what she has to say. I'm tired of living in a world where my kids can get killed because of the color of their skin. There's so much to say, and for some reason I can't find any of the right words. I wake up in the mornings and I go on my phone and I just see all the tired black people that are still fighting. I go to the protest, walking for hours, standing for hours, and just seeing all the people crying or yelling out Black Lives Matter, because we're really in a world where is systematic racism takes over everything. The white supremacists take over everything, and we need to fight it. We can never stop fighting. We need to build a world, a country that our black kids can live in, our black sons, our black daughters, even our black grandparents. I want my nana to be able to relax and not have to worry about her son or grandbabies are going to get killed. My experiences as a black person are no different than any other black person, being racially profiled or stereotyped. The only difference is that I have more of a privilege because of my lighter skin, given the fact that I have white in me, my looser curls, and are more accepted. But that doesn't change the fact that I still experience racism as a black woman in America. In the whole world, we can never forget why we are fighting and what we are fighting for. There's never going to be a day where we no longer have to use our voices. It goes as deep as with school districts and hospitals. You see that the staff at school districts that are black are usually lunch ladies or janitors or security guards or coaches. And then with the doctors, you see that they're nurses or something that's lower than your former doctor. The whole system is corrupt. If you see black males not being able to get the type of mental health care that they need, or black women not being able to get the type of mental health care that they need, everything should be reachable for all races, and it's not. Things aren't going to stop until white people and racist people see us as human, until they see that we are worthy of living just for the fact that we are bleeding the same blood as everybody else. I could talk about the racist things that people have done, my ex-friends have done, but honestly, I just want everybody to keep fighting and using their platforms and voices and participating and donating and signing petitions for us. That's the main goal right now. Just sign petitions, donate money that's needed for certain resources like defund the SPD, all of it. And thank you everyone for taking the time to watch this. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. So that's what Malia had to say. Thank you so much, Malia, for participating. But the last person that I have speaking is, again, another video. Her name's Heavenly. I just met her a couple months ago when I moved over to my new school. She's super sweet, love her dearly, and this is what she has to say.
Hi, I'm Heavenly King. I am 16 years old, and I'm going to talk about my story and my life of being an African-American woman. So first, in my opinion, which is kind of the worst, is the stigma that comes with it. Because our whole lives we've been told European standards, white skin, blue eyes, blonde hair, straight hair. Perfect, it's beautiful. And then, us with the curls, us with the naps, the darker skin complexion, bigger noses, is seen as ugly. And I just hate the stigma that comes with it, that we're ghetto, that we're ugly, we're not professional, not smart. And it's very irritating having to be perceived that way. And to make things worse, especially for me as a dark skin, I get more hate from it, especially the girls that are darker than me, than lighter skinned Black people, like light skins, or even white people, like this other races, we are like at the bottom of the barrel. And being dark skinned, we're seen as dirty, ugly, nappy hair. We're just not perceived as beautiful. And I feel like that really affected how I see myself and how I feel about myself and my confidence. And I feel like I always have to change due to the standards we've been set our whole lives. I try to not be perceived as ghetto, dirty, not smart, so I really try to change the way I act. I feel like I can have a first impression with a white person, and their first impression of me would be like, oh, she's Black, so they're hesitant, but then I talk proper, or I am just more, I guess you could say, whitewashed, and I am perceived as a whitewashed girl. So it's like hard because I don't really fit in with the Black people in my area, but I don't fit in with the whites because obviously I'm not white. So it's like, it puts me in a weird position to where I feel like I just can't be me. So I have to like change the way I act, change the way I talk when I'm with the whites, and then change the way I act, like be something I'm not with my black people. So it's just irritating. And I've been told my whole life to whitewash, to straighten my hair, to wear a weave. I get judged very differently when I wear braids than with my hair. When I wear my hair out, they don't really pay attention. They don't really care. They're like, like it's more uglier. But when I wear my braids, I get a lot more attention. I get treated differently. So it's very irritating when you have to assimilate to the cultures they put on us for years. After we try so hard to assimilate to their culture, it's so weird because nowadays they try to be like us. They try to tan their skin. They try to get butt lifts. They try to wear the rubber bands. They try to get box braids. They try to say the N-word, which I don't even understand why they try so hard to say the N-word, because I don't see the point in it. Like, it's a word. And I think it's because with Black culture, with our culture, we're mainstream. Like, everyone gets a taste of our culture. We don't really have a culture of our own because everyone takes from it. Everyone just makes it theirs. Like, box braids and cornrows are now boxer braids that Kim Kardashian, Kylie Jenner wear. So it's just something that we tried so hard to assimilate to their culture, and then they take it, like stuff that's perceived as ghetto, as braids and stuff, they take it and they're like, this is in, this is a trend. And they just try so hard to be like us. And I get it, because, come on, we're kind of awesome, we're kind of, but I just don't get it, because we get so much hate, yet you guys always want to take from us. Following up on the Black Lives Matter protests and the movement, I don't know how I feel about it, because it's like, this has been happening for so long. We've been having protests all the time. It's never gotten this much attention. And the reason I have a weird feeling about it is because quarantine, because of Corona. I feel like because Corona happened, everyone stayed indoors. But then when the news of George Floyd came out, they're like, we gotta go outside, we gotta protest, we got nothing else better to do. For us, I understand why we went outside. It's not right. We've been protesting. But like, just getting such a high amount of attention from like all races, honestly, and for higher up people and just stuff like that, is very weird to see them protest because they didn't before. And I'm hoping this won't be a trend, because that would be so irritating. It would just be like we're just objects ready to throw away when the next good thing comes. I really hope that they keep this trend, like they keep this going, because it's not a trend, it's our life. It's our life that we are just very worried about. Someone that lived in my house got killed by the police, Emmanuel Ellis, and he got killed in March here in Tacoma by police officers. The news has been spreading, so I don't want to talk too much about that, but like, he lived with me and my family, and I was there when my mom told me that he died. And it was just crazy because in Tacoma, especially here, I feel safe. Like, I felt safe only because like it's very diverse here, so like I didn't really feel like we would get that targeted compared to like the South or Chicago and places like that. So like, I didn't think that police brutality was a big thing up here, and it's not, but it still happens. And then when you find out it happens, especially to someone so close, because he lives in our house with us and he's just around the family a lot, it's so weird. Like, it just makes me perceive my home in a different way, and it honestly freaks me out, but I try not to think about it. And then with the protests in Seattle, where they're tear gassing kids and just very violent, and I don't like, it just makes me perceive that nowhere's safe for us. Like, nowhere is going to be completely safe, where there's no police brutality, where we don't have to fear for our lives every day. And I just hope that everyone keeps bringing us attention, keeps arresting all these officers that need to be arrested for killing us for no reason too. And not even just officers, just people in general that just kill us. They need to be arrested. And I'm very happy that we're getting the attention. I'm just questioning the motives, like the intentions. Like, do people really care about this, or is it a trend? They feel like they have to. Influencers feel like they have to. Celebrities feel like they have to not be perceived as racist. So that's how I feel about being Black, an African American woman in America, and how I feel about the Black Lives Matter movement. Love you, Bella.
So thank you guys so much for watching. I really hope you guys got something from this. I hope you guys learned something from this. I hope you guys listened. I hope you guys are really hearing out these people. I hope this is helping people understand that racism is a lot deeper than being called the N-word or being killed by a cop, because that's a misconception that I feel like everybody has. Everybody thinks either you're racist or you're not racist, when in fact racism is a scale. It comes in levels. Same thing with prejudice. There's microaggressions, all that kind of stuff. So I hope that this video helped you guys. I hope it opened up your eyes a little bit, and I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Make sure you stay tuned for tomorrow's video, which is the last video of this series. Thank you guys so much for listening. All of their Instagrams will be linked down below. And yeah, so go hit these people up, give them a thank you. But yeah, thank you guys all for participating as well. All of the people who gave me statements and videos to play. If you guys are watching this, thank you guys. I appreciate you. But yeah, I love you guys all so much, and I will see you guys again tomorrow. And yeah, so bye guys.